Hello, I'm Jennifer. I'm your instructor, and welcome to English 210. I meant to post this by yesterday, but Monday through Wednesdays are really busy for me, and I teach all day in person on Monday and Wednesdays, so here I am. And I just wanted to say I really look forward to this class with all of you, and I am always available to answer questions, to help you with your assignments or elements of writing. But I wanted to just give you a little overview of the class and answer some questions that I've gotten about the discussion and talk about the week one assignment. I'm going to try to do this as briefly as I can. I am not a brief person. I like to talk. Okay. Anyway, this is our class. And of course, on the first page here, you can go and see announcements, and I post these every week. Oops, I have to keep moving my face out of the way. I post this every week as an introduction to the week, but I also post resources and other information, and I'm going to post this in our announcements as well. So if you haven't, please go and look at the welcome. And then you can reach our discussions through here. And this is where you can introduce yourself to the class this week so everyone can get to know each other. And I've posted in there, and I've been reading your introductions. And then, of course, the grade book and messages where you can reach out to me. And I've reached out to all of you to welcome you and to get some information from you. So I appreciate those who have replied. I'm going to go back to our content. This is where you can ask questions for the whole class that are not just personal or pertain just to you. And then there's the welcome. When you drop down, you can see this is where you can introduce yourself and some things about the course and the syllabus. And then here we have each week. And so each week, I'm going to move me over here again. Each week is self-contained. You drop it down right here. This is the interactive overview. Each week is formatted and organized in the same way. So the first thing, which is due on Thursday, is the interactive overview, and that's where you can see the readings and activities and assignments you have to complete. And so it gives you an overview of the class. It even gives you some time frames of how much time you have to spend on those items or readings and activities each week. And you need to do this by Thursday because it gives you that overview of the week, right? You don't want to do it after the week is already over. It's not going to benefit you. And then you just answer if you feel very confident, I'm not sure, not confident, worried. And you can even tell me why. I'm going to respond to this. And then after that, these are your learning activities. So I have had questions about the discussion. Before you can do the discussions, you need to review and read through these activities, okay? So there's always some activities. Here's writing skills inventory, tools for investigating the rhetorical situation. This is really important to this week's reading, which asks you about audience. And it's about audience awareness, which is really important in the writing process. So definitely look over this. It's going to be hard to answer the questions correctly if you don't look at this before you post your first response. Here's some information on APA citing, which also is required in our discussions and the writing assignments each week. And then these are our textbook chapters, one part 6, another part 6, part 6, because you don't always have to read the whole entire chapter. It's going to bring you to the writing portion of the chapters each week. And so in chapter 1 and then part 6 is going to be important in part 7. And then some library resources, which has some other readings. And one of these, this reading, is also one of your reading options for the discussion for week 1. After you've gone through these on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week, let me close this back up, you are ready to participate in the discussion. And so here we are. So of course you cannot post in our discussion until Tuesday when the week opens. And if you can get all the readings done on Tuesday to prepare you for posting, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But for most of you and for me, it's going to take us a couple of days and maybe up through Thursday to be able to post your first post, because you're going to need to go through those readings and make sure that you understand the topics and the writing elements for that week. So once you do that, there's 3 parts, all right? Okay, let me backtrack for a moment here. So of course you have to post your initial post by Thursday, 11:59 p.m., which is Phoenix time, which is Mountain Standard Time. All right, and then throughout the week, you have 2 responses to your peers or myself or Mork, because you can answer your peer who has responded to you. You can answer them back. You have to respond over at least 2 days, so you can't do all your posts on one day. So there's 3 parts. There's the first part, which is where you're going to do an additional reading. And this week we're reading about language use and what is appropriate terminology and how we refer to each other and certain groups within society correctly and appropriately, okay? And most of these are all coming from the APA style website, except for the Beyond the Binary, which you can find in the reading and activity material for the week. And so you're going to read through that, and then you have your discussion questions or responses. And so they're not all about these readings. So if you look here, it says, what questions might you ask yourself about your audience as you approach a writing task for work? This does not have anything to do with these readings, though there might be information that you can respond to as well. These questions are about the reading material for this week, because audience has to do with pre-writing. It has to do with the rhetorical situation, which is getting to know what your topic is that you're going to be writing about, what your purpose for writing it is, what you know about the topic and what you need to know to write about it, and who your audience is that you're writing to, which is a fundamentally important question and one of the fundamental questions in the pre-writing process. And in order to learn more about that, or to review that, because you learned about it in English 110, you have to go and read about that in our textbook and in that supplementary reading activity on the rhetorical situation. And if you do this, you will know very clearly what you should ask about your audience before you write something at work, but also before you write for a class, depending on the topic and the purpose, okay? And then this one is about how you respond to those in your home life and in your relationships as opposed to work, because that has to do with audience awareness. And then how do you communicate with others to show respect and active listening? And then here's where you're going to specifically talk about something within the reading you did up here on language use, all right? And then the third part is resource credit, and this is where you're going to integrate something from your reading, whether it's from the textbook or from the supplemental readings that are given to you in each discussion. But you are going to cite what you specifically refer to in your response, which is called an in-text citation. And here's what it looks like. And you're also going to have to create a reference citation. Here's an example of a reference citation for this reading, Beyond the Binary. But you will not see my post before you post. You will not see any of your peers' posts before you post. But after, you can look at my response. And if you feel like you want to go and edit or add to your own post, you may do this. But I'm going to bring you down here because I post every week along with you. And you can see what a model post looks like, as well as how to cite in text and how to include a reference citation. Okay, so I encourage you to read through my response, to get some information and to see how I do it. And so you can see how I have posted a little introduction to you and how I have told you right away what I read. And then I've given you some tips, and then I've shown you how to cite in text, okay? And I also respond to the reading, and I respond like you are doing, but I also give you some tips. And then you can see how at the end I posted my reference, but I've also given you some information and tips. And here is my citation, and this is what it looks like and how it looks for almost all of these texts, except for Beyond the Binary. And then again, I give you some more tips and information. So I would take a few minutes to look over this. I think it will help you a lot, okay? I'm going to end this one, and I'm going to do a different video for your week 1 assignment. But I hope this helps to answer some of the discussion questions, and I see that some of you have already responded. You can come over here and you can click on someone's name to go right to their response. So if you click on me, that will take you right to my response. So that's how you can find people's responses. I hope this helps, but if you have questions, please reach out. I'm always willing to help. Thank you.